Welcome to a special RadioRadioX music video interview. I am your host, Justin Smulison, proud RadioRadioX contributor, celebrating my 1-year anniversary here at the site. I am so excited to present this interview with the man, the icon, my favorite metal singer, Mr. John Bush. You can see me up there with him right there. Here he is wailing away. John Bush is the singer of Armored Saint, of course. He is also the singer of a long-term supergroup known as Category 7, and many people know him as the one-time frontman for Anthrax from the 90s and through parts of the 2000s. And for years, I've been speaking with John about what he would do and if he would ever revive those songs and bring them into his set list beyond playing the occasional show with Metal Allegiance. Well, the time has come, and we will be celebrating the songs of Anthrax, the John Bush era, for 3 shows. December 13th in Los Angeles, December 18th in St. Charles, Illinois, and Saturday, December 20th in New York at the Racket, formerly the Bowery. And guess what, folks? These shows are going to be fantastic. Not only will we be hearing the John Bush era Anthrax songs, the classics, and some deep cuts, but we're also going to be hearing Category 7. So you're going to get a Category 7 set, and then the band's going to stay there and do the John Bush set. And then guess what? On top of all of that, filling in for Category 7 bassist Jack Gibson is one of my other major heroes of the metal world, Joey Vera, bassist and primary songwriter for Armored Saint. So it is going to be a fantastic set of shows. And then we're going to find out what else is going on with Armored Saint and Category 7, and when and where we might hear and see them in 2026. There's so much to discuss. I'm a huge fan. I know I'm already geeking out. So let's get to it. RadioRadioX audiences worldwide, please welcome my all-time favorite metal singer, my metal hero, Mr. John Bush. And we're on. I am joined by my all-time favorite metal singer. He's one of my heroes, if not, he's certainly my metal hero, John Bush. Hello again.
What's up, dude? How are you doing, Justin? What's up, buddy?
It's always such a pleasure to see you. I still get this huge rush and this huge thrill when I talk to you. I don't want to overload you with too much of that, all that stuff, but
it's only 9:30 a.m. here.
Yeah, I know. It's 9:30 for you.
I've been up.
This up here was us on the Mega Cruise in 2019, and it's still. I think we're gonna put this on my tombstone one day.
Yikes,
Father!
Well, it's funny because I just did the Headbangers Boat. Just like a couple weeks ago out of Florida, the Lamagado, and I think it was the exact same boat that Mega.
Oh, was it really? The Jewel, the Norwegian Jewel,
the Norwegian Jewel. So I was like, whoa! I was kind of tripping out and having some deja vu there.
Yeah, man. So there's so much to discuss because for years we talk. I want to say almost annually, which is really cool. And I've always asked you, hey, what about the songs of John Bush? Would that ever be a thing? And you've kind of. And we never really harped on it, but you always kind of said it's the sort of thing where if the time is right and things line up correctly, then we can do it. And we never knew if it would be a one-off of just one show or just a huge full-blown tour. And you found, I think, a nice way to dab your toe in the water by doing these 3 shows that are coming up in December. And I'm just moving out of the way there. December 13th, you're going to be in Los Angeles. Where are you going to be?
The whiskey.
But that's like your backyard, isn't it?
So dude, it's right up the street from my house. I can get there in like 10 minutes.
Right. And then December, is that say 18th in Charles, Illinois?
Charles, yeah. The Arcada Theater. It's great, amazing venue. Played there with times, and it's been amazing. It's a great venue and great crowds.
And then Saturday, December 20th, if anybody's looking for me, I'm going to be at the Racket in New York City, where I'm going to be front and center. And it's going to be amazing. You're going to be backed for 2 sets. There's going to be a Category 7 set and then a Songs of John Bush set, right?
Yes, exactly. I'm stoked to be playing Racket too, because that was the original Bowery Ballroom back in the day. And I played there with Anthrax. So sometime in the 90s, I think it was, maybe early zeros. But yeah, and we had to play in New York. Come on, had to.
Yes.
And I wanted to. So it is, It's not two headlining sets, thank God, because that would probably be pretty brutal for me.
Right.
But it is two sets, and the C7 set will be fun because not a lot of people have seen us, so it'll be cool to go out and play that, and then we'll follow it up with the songs from my time in Anthrax and playing those four records and
Yeah.
various tunes from those records, from the hits to some deeper tracks, and it's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be great. Now, I remember when I saw you with Metal Allegiance a few years ago, you did Only and What Doesn't Die. That
Oh
was at a
yeah.
place, yeah, out in Long Island at the Stereo Garden you did that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm thinking, "Whoa, this." I'm finally hearing these songs live. I was too young to hear them live when they came out. Uh, and so I'm thinking that might have also helped you scratch the itch.
Yeah, I've done a couple things with, Metal Legions where I played, like, Only, and then we played, like, Room for One More,
Yeah.
and then we actually did the, Rock in Rio, which was really cool, and I did those 2 songs there, which was unbelievable. So, it's something I've done and I've wanted to do to kind of goof around a little bit with it. And those, with the various musicians I played with there, and Phil Demmel obviously was one who I did it with before, and Andreas from Sepultura, and of course Mike Portnoy was always the drummer,
Yeah.
and Mengi and even Dave Ellison I think played bass on Room for One More. So it was cool to do those guys, and the crowd was like, oh, he's playing those songs, and again, a lot of these songs haven't been heard for years. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a full set. It's gonna be, I'm going, getting into deeper songs and, obvious other choices. I don't wanna give away too much, but, certain
Don't give
songs
it away. Don't give it
haven't been
away.
heard in a long time. Probably songs that, let's say some songs from Sound of White Noise that we probably didn't play too many more times after Sound of White Noise came out. So,
Right.
um, same for Stomp, same for Volume 8. So,
Yeah.
there's some obvious choices, but there's also a few deeper ones, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of tunes I gave all the guys who were helping me on this, the C7 dudes and Joey Vera. I mean, I said, "Okay, here's the songs." They're like, "Dude," and I'm like,
Well,
"What am I gonna do?" I can't. I gotta do 10 tunes here. I'm gonna
yeah,
have to.
you're real and like we said, Joey Vera is gonna be joining you on bass.
Originally, Jack had a conflict with the scheduling, and so I asked Vera to because he's my bro, and then of course Jack's situation changed, and I felt terrible, and I'm like, oh no, like this, But like Joey was already in the mix of playing these songs and learning these
Right.
songs in the C7 song, so it's a bummer, but it's just the kind of the way things worked out. But
Yeah. Yeah.
there'll be more C7 shows with Jack, and he's a great guy. He's an incredible bass player and just a
Yeah.
easygoing guy, and really fun to be on the road with because he's so easygoing and mellow and such a great player.
I love how some of the metal guys are mellow, relaxed, humble dudes, but on stage they're beasts. I love that.
I mean, he's an Exodus, he's got to
Yeah.
be, right? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you put a lot into that performance or the studio aspect of playing music. So once you get off, sometimes not everybody. Jason Bender has a lot of energy off stage, as on stage.
I interviewed him. He's
So does
great.
Frank Bello.
Yeah.
So, but whatever. I mean, whoever you are, you deal with the besides the stage stuff differently and however you want to. So
Yeah. So let's quickly let's just take a quick stroll down memory lane. I guess I'm gonna kind of go out of order, but oh no, I'll go in order. So this was like the landmark for you. This in a lot of ways this put you on the map because after Symbol of Salvation, um, Armored Saint had to take a break, and here you are on Sound of White Noise. I think one of the first times that we had spoken, it had just turned 30.
wow,
So,
yeah,
yeah, and that was a couple of years ago. So,
yeah.
these songs are still big time favorites, and there you are reading a newspaper at a diner.
Yeah, well, I love the newspaper. I still love the newspaper, even though it's a dying industry, but I still love it.
Yeah, yeah. And so
I
that
still
one
read the newspaper, see?
but I remember yeah, there you go. I remember back when I was 12 or 13 and this came out, this was playing on MTV when I came home. Like this and Sweating Bullets by Megadeth were on MTV at 3 p.m. on a weekday, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it was
So,
really cool.
yeah,
Only was a
this
big tune on for us then,
Only, Room
and,
for One More, and High Pro Glow was also a big one. Black Lodge was a big
yeah,
one.
yeah,
They also made it onto Beavis and Butthead, so you were really part of the culture at the time. And
Yeah,
that must have been wild, right?
and what was cool is that the same producer produced Symbol of Salvation as produced The Sound of White Noise, which was Dave Jordan, who
Yeah.
unfortunately is no longer with us, excuse me, but he was an incredible guy and a really funny dude and just an awesome producer. And I mean, come on, produce like, Jane's Addiction and Alice in Chains and The Offspring and, I think a Biohazard record. And he was just a great dude and really funny. And just, he made 2 killer records for me back to back. So Symbol and Sound of White Noise. So it was cool. I was like, okay. And here's the irony is that my wife's a casting director and we have a studio that we cast commercials out of right on Sunset Boulevard, and El Dorado, which is the studio I made both those records at, is literally across the street from it. So I see it every day. I'm like, there's El Dorado. So, and I've gone and like pushed the button a couple times and see if somebody will come out just to say, is this still a studio or what's going on? But like I said, people look, I've said it before in interviews, but they probably look out the window and like, who's this? They probably think I'm some like homeless guy.
Yeah, they think you're a vagrant.
Yeah, exactly. Because there are unfortunately a lot of them around that area, and so I'm just waving like, "Come out! I want to get me in. I want to go check it out."
It's really me. I had hair at the time, but it was me.
I had a lot of hair. Yeah,
yes, you did.
it was a great time in my life, and I see that place every day. And directly across the street from that is the old Cat and a Fiddle, which is a famous English pub that has moved since then down on Highland, not too far away, and it's now a cool new restaurant called Superba. But and I go there all the time. But it's just weird, like that area is entrenched in my life because it was a part of those early. I mean, well, Symbol, when we were recording that and writing that was like, when we were recording it was probably like, well, it came out in May of 91. So it was like sometime in the fall of 1990 when we were recording that record. So.
Wow. Amazing. And then moving on to Stomp, that's a John Bush signature right there because you signed that stuff. I guess I've been waiting a long time to say this. I guess it did matter after all.
What's that? My signature?
No. The fact that you have this album, it did seem to matter.
Oh, okay.
Because it's nothing. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
I know. I'm just trying to catch up with where you were going with that.
I could have delivered it better times. No, but that's like one of those great songs on this album. It's on Club.
Yeah, and that was cool because the guy who directed that video, Marco Siega, he did that. He also did Inside Out. He also did the Field video, which is a killer video. And so, and it was funny because I saw, as life would have it in the small world of it, one day I saw him. He actually came to our casting studio because he was working with another casting director. And they were doing a callback out of our place. I'm like, what the heck, Marcos? He's like, what are you doing here? And I explained, well, my wife. And then I was like trying to get him to use my wife because she's an awesome casting director. And I was like, yeah, use her. She's great. But he was cool and he was a great director. He went on to do some Dexter TV stuff. And I know what else he's done. I'm sure he's done a lot of things, but really cool guy. And he made some really cool videos. Anthrax, Nothing, and Fuel being one of them. So.
Were you doing old school virtual reality right here?
It looks like that, right?
It does. Or they're Bret the Hitman Hart glasses.
I think it was just the way that the picture came out. It's just a little bit discombobulated there, but it was. We did some cool things with that. Those pictures on the Stomp record. It's funny because one of those photos. It looks a lot like a photo of my father from when he used to run a bar back, again, when he was a young man.
That one?
Since he's passed on. Yeah, it's that picture right there.
Yeah.
It looks like a picture that I have in my hallway of my dad, actually, of a bar he ran. And I guess we looked very similar. And it's just weird. But that was on that Stomp record. And Stomp record is a killer album.
It's a great one. And I'm like we said, we're not going to give away the set list, but we can safely assume it's on the poster. You're going to be playing some songs off of it.
So I'm going to play songs from all those records.
That's right. So let me ask you, though, a quick tangent. Were your parents supportive of your decision? You mentioned your dad. This is the first time we've ever talked about that you've ever mentioned him to me. Was he the kind of guy who just said, you know what, go for it?
Yeah, they were actually. My mom was more involved, but then eventually both of them were doing things for Armored Saint. My mom ran the fan club for years.
Oh, really?
She did, and my dad would go to the post office and the PO box because we had all the letters come there, and in a city that was probably about 5 miles away from where we lived, and he would go and pick up the mail and bring it back, and then we'd go through the mail together, and then we had various people help us. 2 people who passed away since then, Bob Nalbandian, who Bob was a writer and made some documentaries. He was a great guy. I love Bob, known him for years, and sad when he passed on. And then buddy of mine, Andy, who died years ago, who was a very good friend of the band's, was the Black Knight in the Armored Saint Perkins Palace show where the 2 knights are fighting. I take out the helmet. He was the Black Knight, and he unfortunately died years back, and so it was a shame, really sad moment. But and he ran the fan club with my parents too for a while, and so I think that was why I didn't want to be in social media or be involved for so long, although I am now. But finally broke with that. But I worked with them on the fan club, so I was like, man, I already did this. I don't. And to me, I mean, I hate to say it, but of course it's different.
Right.
But I kind of view social media as kind of like an extended fan club in a weird way.
Well, it is.
But I don't like fans. I love fans, and I love talking to fans, and I'm the nicest guy. But I don't know. I just didn't want to commit to it, but now I have. And
because then you feel like you got to keep up with it.
My wife helps me with it, and she does a great job with helping me. But yeah, but it was that my parents were very involved in those early days, and they would come to shows as well as the Sandoval's, Gonzo's parents, and Gonzo's parents, and Dave's parents would come, even Joey's mom would come. Joey's dad lived abroad at the time, but all our parents were very, very supportive for sure. And I think the same could be said for the Anthrax guys. I know that.
Yeah, that's wild. So we've got the third John Bush Anthrax album also signed. I don't know how many people have this one signed. This is hard to come by, right?
Yeah. Well,
it's OOP. It's out of print.
Yeah. Well, now it's re-released on Mega.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got an original here. This one was a little polarizing for people, and I think part of it was just because you didn't get the right. I think the record label folded right after you released the record, so that part sucked. And I know we're not going to give away the songs, but I have my request would be Big Fat.
I love Big Fat. That's a great song. Yeah, it's a great tune.
I've always wanted to hear that one live.
Yeah, it's a cool song. We did play it live for a while.
Did you?
We did. Yeah, it's a cool tune. I love that tune. There's a lot of great songs on that album as well. I mean, it's kind of different. It got the 2 short 30-second songs on it. Time Bag still plays on Inside Out, and Born Again Idiot, I think was the other tune he played on.
Phil Anselmo shows up at one point,
Phil Anselmo actually sang on Killing Box.
Killing Box, yeah.
Yeah, and so, I think it was the late 90s, so things are changing even more, and put this record out, and then, like you said, shortly after that label, we took a chance on this indie, and a lot of people were putting albums through indies, and we took a chance, and it was a mistake, and it didn't pan out, and it didn't really help us when it came to touring, and so we were kind of on our own with that, and not really getting too much support. I mean, so the label, it basically went under, I'd say, a month or 2 into the record. So it's never good. But I think the record stands tall because there's some great tunes on it. And,
definitely. And I'm realizing now, maybe I shouldn't hold this up. There's a picture of a naked John Bush with an 8-ball over his. Where the G string?
As long as there's something over it, you don't need to reveal too much here about my,
We know what's behind it,
but
And then also another signed one. Okay, so this was your last studio album of originals with Anthrax.
Correct.
Wall. Yeah. This was you guys kind of. I feel like you went back to Armored Saint for a little bit because I think you were able to do both. You did Revelation, which is one of my favorite albums, and then you come back here, you do this one. You got an Alex Ross cover, which is amazing.
Very cool.
And then you just I don't want to say you kick it old school, but you definitely pushed the decibel level on this one.
We did, and we were stoked to be part of Nuclear Blast, which was in Europe. They signed us, and so they did a great job with that record, kind of re-establishing us as a metal band.
Yeah,
the label Sanctuary here that were trying, but then they didn't really quite have the same kind of gusto as well. So that didn't help too much either in the States. But the record is a lot of people really dig that album. A lot of people's favorite record. And there's some killer tunes on it. You know, everything from Cadillac Rock Box to What Doesn't Die to
Think About an End is a great one.
Think About an End is a really cool tune, and Black Dahlia, and there's a lot of really great songs on that album. So it was really exciting to kind of have a renewal of being in a metal band. Rob Caggiano came in to play with us at that point.
Yeah. I always assumed that if you were going to do the songs of John Bush, he would have been your guy. And I think maybe if there had been no Category 7, he could have been your guy to do it.
I mean, me and Rob did talk about it for a bit, a long time, and we had some ideas about things. And unfortunately, it didn't kind of work out at that moment. But I love Rob. He's great. Yeah. He's a great guy. He's quite a character. He's an amazing guitar player. Was in Volbeat for 10 years or so. Yeah. Did great stuff with them. And, who knows? Well, maybe we'll see Rob at the Racket show.
Oh, okay. Well, let's hope so. And then this one, I don't think you're going to play anything off of it, but it's super cool. It's just something I just love. I love to show off a little bit. So I got you to sign this, and Joey, I think, engineered it, or he was one of the engineers on it, so he signed it. And this was you. I think you probably did this right around the time that you were recording We've Come For You All. You did the back catalog of the Anthrax songs, and you crushed it.
Yeah, it was cool to do that. It was, it was an idea to kind of see what it would be like to just kind of get my voice in there with those old tunes, because I've been singing them live for so long at that point. And it was great. It was very raw. I was in the studio like just a couple passes. Most of it was done like one pass, and musically and vocally, maybe a couple passes here, but here and there. But it was really cool. I remember singing like on a 58 mic in the studio with it. So when people come to the studio and kind of be part of just watching us record it, had I known I was leaving the band at that point, shortly after that, would I have done it? Maybe not, but it's irrelevant now. I'm certainly proud of it. It's not like I don't think I'm embarrassed by it in any capacity. I think those songs are just more obviously associated with Joey.
Right.
And that's very fair to say. So, but it's just something we did at that time, and it was fun. And like I said, I had been singing those songs live, and I always try to give them, try to sing them as close to the original version as I obviously could. That was my approach, with slight changes here and there. But because I know how it is when I hear people singing. I don't want them to change the song completely. I want them to sing it as is. The reality is that my voice and Joey Belladonna's voice are just very different from each other.
Right. So, but you can do similar things. Depends.
Of course. Yeah. He sings a bit higher than I do. And he's got a very distinctive voice, and my voice is more raspy and distinctive in its way. But it was always fun to sing those songs live. I always used to think of them as my adopted children. That's the way I viewed it, So took as much pride in singing I Am the Law as I did, Songs Like Only when I was in the band. So.
Right. It was January 24th and 25th, 2004 that you recorded all these at Avatar Studios, New York City.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like upstate New York. It was cold. It was a nice studio. And I guess we had some people come in, some fans that just kind of come in and hang out and watch us record some of it, which was really a cool idea.
Yeah. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. I just want to tell you about the Extreme Music Awards 2026. RadioRadioX is a proud sponsor. The show will be held January 16th and 17th at Empire Live, the home of metal, punk, and hardcore in upstate New York. This is your chance to show support for the underdogs and be a part of the biggest 518 event of the year. We mentioned Category 7 drummer Jason Bittner earlier. We're listening to one of his songs right now from Category 7. It's called In Stitches. He's the band leader, the ringleader of it all when it comes to the performance at the Extreme Music Awards. And there's so much great stuff happening there. I want you to check it out. A link to the Extreme Music Awards is on this episode's notes. You can also visit extrememusicawards.com and radioradiox.com for more information. And tell Jason Bittner, when you're there, that you heard about this on RadioRadioX.com in an interview with his good friend John Bush. Speaking of whom, let's return to the conclusion of my interview with my all-time favorite metal singer and my metal hero, John Bush. So you've got these songs. So obviously your set list. You're going to be. Here's my big question for John Bush. Do the Category 7 songs push you harder or as hard as the Anthrax songs? Vocally.
Yeah, there's some challenging vocal things for sure in there. There's certainly some challenging music things in there for sure. Joey's having to learn some of these tunes, and he's like, "Wow, these songs are hard, man."
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are good. So it's all going to be a challenge for sure. I've been working really hard prepping for it, and I'm not trying not to bite off more than I can chew. It is 3 shows, and they are spread out, so it should be doable. I wanted to, like you said, dip my toe in the water and kind of before I said, "Hey, you know, let me try to do this now." I think this was the right decision. So,
Right.
yeah, it's I think the C7 songs are probably a little more intricate than the Anthrax songs, but there's a lot of parallels to them, and there's almost progressive metal at times, and
Definitely.
Charlie was phenomenal drummer and the way he plays, and and Bittner's kind of like he's right off the mold of Charlie, the way he plays. Nobody plays like Scott because he's Scott. He just has his own distinctive style, and nobody plays like him. He just has his own thing. But I'm sure Phil and Mike will give it their best, and they're both incredible players, and they're very excited about doing it. So it's going to be fun. It's all about. I want it to be a fun thing. I want it to be, sure. There's going to be stuff under the microscope without a doubt. I'm not kidding myself as well as them, but I also just want it to be fun. And the songs will be played as is. Danny spits his solo on Room for One More. I want them to play it like Danny did. Because that's what people want to hear. So
let me also ask you, what about a song like Poison My Eyes? Like that was off of the last Action Hero soundtrack.
Look, people have been writing songs and sending it to Instagram and giving their 2 cents and their suggestions, and I'm listening. I really am. So
okay,
I think it's a combination of obvious songs to play, some deep tracks that I want to play, some fan favorites that are being suggested, and then also not going too deep where it's like, okay, 10 people in the crowd, 500 love this. And,
right.
you have to be realistic about stuff. Right. So, I think I'm going deep, but not going maybe too deep. So Poison My Eyes, who knows? I'm not going to say anything because
some songs are
people are be like, wow, he's played that song. So
because when you mentioned Spitz's solo, I remember as a kid hearing that going, that's a solo that I remember. Just like it hit you, that one. I don't know how involved you were or how much you remember of that one, but I remember that. I think that was also one of my introductions to Anthrax was that song off of that one failed movie, but the soundtrack was great.
It was great. It was big. I think it was sold like 1 million copies.
Huge. That was Anthrax, off the top of my head. Anthrax, Alice in Chains, Fishbone, Tesla. Oh, I'm forgetting. So I know Queensryche was on it. It was a real collection of groups that are still crushing it today, and even some that disbanded and came back, like Alice in Chains. It's amazing.
And it was cool because it was Schwarzenegger a part of the movie, and that was really cool.
Did you ever get to meet him?
I never met him, but I would love to because he's cool. Arnold rules.
Maybe your wife will cast him in a movie or something.
Yeah. Who knows? Anything's possible.
So you're going to do those shows. And then after that, from what I've read, and please correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm overstepping, there's going to be an Armored Saint album in 26.
The Armored Saint record's already done. It's mixed. We're just mastering it right now. It sounds amazing. I'm really, really proud of it. Some killer songs. The production is awesome. Jay Rustin mixed it again as he mixed When Hands Down and Punch in the Sky. Everybody played their balls off on it.
Yeah.
Everybody, Jeff and Phil played incredible. Gonzo killed it on drums, and Joey is the mastermind on production. And Joey actually sang amazingly, did a lot of killer background vocals that I was like, wow, that's awesome. Let's bring that up in the mix. And so, it's just great. We've really kind of elevated our songwriting, and I think we keep getting better. And There's some really great stuff on it that people are going to go, that sounds cool. And there's some stuff that people are going to go, wow, Saint really continuing to branch out. So we kind of feel like the sky's the limit when it comes to songwriting, and we don't really feel bounded by any kind of, boundaries. And we kind of feel like we can do whatever we want, and we do that. And so
Yeah.
it's a record I'm really, really proud of, and I think people are going to love it.
All right. So we're looking for that in
Time in
26.
April.
In April. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so we'll do this again in April. I want to mention it's been 10 years since one of my favorite Armored Saint releases has come out. Can you see that one?
Yeah, When Hands Down's a
When
great
Hands
record.
Down. You just
Love that
mentioned
record.
it.
Yeah.
There's-
Killer cover. I love that cover. Stephanie Cabral shot it, and
Yep.
Vince from Metal Blade is is kind of the guy who's fallen back and taking our abuse. Fun to really do that. My daughter and wife's in that picture, and
Oh,
Joey's
really?
Lucy and some friends of the band. It was fun. It was a really fun project to do that cover, um, and it's a killer record. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
strong. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Really, the title track is great. It's always like a fan favorite now.
I've spoken to you, and I've spoken to every member of the band except for Phil, for no other reason than we just haven't been able to coordinate it. I've said it each time. This has to be like a staple in the set forever. When
Yeah.
Hands Down, the song has to be.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
play Mess a lot. That's also a great song. It's really cool, and it's
A lot of parts in that one. That one's
a lot of parts. It's hard
Yeah.
to play. It's it's very there's a lot of tough drum beats in it, and but it's a really cool tune, and it was always great live. And Exercise of Debauchery is a killer video. I love that video, and it's really funny, and kind of touches on some realities. And
Yeah.
my neighbor was in the video, and she did a great job as she played like the dominatrix lady in it. It was hilarious. And yeah, there's some really cool stuff in it. In it, it's just a great tune, long, kind of an epic tune.
I was there at the Gramercy when you recorded the live album.
Yeah.
So you were doing all of Symbol of Salvation, but you did a handful of other songs. And so it's cool. So I'm on that record with you. So
Yeah, that's great. The Gramercy show was great. And play Symbol in its entirety was really cool. We didn't do that too many times. We did like maybe 2 or 3 weeks of that tour with that record. And it was really fun to do that. And Symbol is a great record too.
Yeah. And then I think you just wrapped up, as you said, you played with Schenker, and you were kind of promoting Delirious Nomad's 40th. Is that right?
We did, yeah. We were
40 years of this album.
I know, that's what's crazy. It's insane. I can't even believe it. All this stuff. It's just wow. But yeah, Delirious is a killer record. And
there you are with some hair.
It's a cool shot. And there's a lot of great songs on that album. From For the Sake of Heaviness, which is a really cool deep track, to Aftermath, which is a fan favorite as well. And Long Before I Die is classic, and Over the Edge, which is like a bluesy kind of different take on our style. And it was cool to do that. We played a bunch of different songs on this little upcoming run that we did, that we just did with Schenker, and we played The Laugh, which we hadn't played in years, and maybe if ever. It was really cool. And so we're always trying to do different things with Saint, as far as playing different tracks, and just kind of acknowledging a part of our history. And with Delirious Nomad, and admitting the fact that man is 40 years old, which is just crazy. So it's still a great record.
Amazing. And so I'm looking over here. I'm just looking at some Armored Saint dates have been announced, I guess, for special shows and some one-offs and some festivals. You're going to be at the Rainbow. That's a famous one. The Rainbow Bar and Grill, April 19th. You're going to be there with a lot of groups. LA Guns.
LA Guns is cool because that's Jeff Duncan's brother, Sean, is the drummer of LA.
I've interviewed him a couple of times. Yeah, I've interviewed him. He's a beast, that guy.
Great drummer, and it's going to be fun because we've become friends with my wife and I, with Mike and Amy, who run the Rainbow and the whiskey, and serve. They own it, and they're really, really cool people. And I'm doing the whiskey show with this John Bush thing, and now we're the Rainbow, and it's going to be really fun. And then we're doing some shows with Sabotage in Europe, which is going to be really
I'm going down the list here.
Sabotage is a killer band.
You're going to be in Poland?
We're going to play Warsaw. We've never played there, which is really cool. again, playing with Sabotage and Nevermore, which is another great heavy metal band
Unbelievable.
yesteryear. And then we're doing some shows well, I don't know if those shows have been announced yet, so maybe I shouldn't say anything with those yet.
I don't want to get in trouble.
We're headlining the Rockhart Festival, which is a classic show in Gelsenkirchen, Germany, and we've done it before, and this time we get to headline it, which is really cool. So
That's really cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to be busy. Hopefully we'll do a lot of dates in Europe. We're going to play Brutal Assault.
Yes, in August.
And I believe we're doing Wacken again, and so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a lot of cool shows, and then we don't have anything planned in the States yet, but we have a lot of rumblings going on, and I'm sure we're going to do some really cool tours. There's some bands that we've talked about going out there we'll be playing with, and if it happens, it'll be really fun.
Excellent. I hope so, because I feel like if you're putting out a record and you're a U.S. band, it would be really great if you could play some U.S. cities in support of it.
That's without saying, you put our record out, you want to do some dates, of course, and play those songs live, of course. Yeah. I'm really excited to do it. Yeah, they sound killer on the record. But
you're doing Stone Dead Festival too, right?
You're doing the Stone Dead Festival, and Gonzo had a hand in putting that together with us.
Oh yeah,
which is really cool. Him and Phil, they went to see it last year, and then they got to know the promoter, and he was wheeling and dealing with the promoter, and so now we're on the festival, which is really cool. And Europe is on it, which is going to be cool. And it's all this stuff's going to be fun. We just try to do things that are fun and that are as best profile as we can make it, and so that's the same kind of mentality we have in the States and the shows in the States. I mean, we just did tours of Wasp, we went out with Queensryche, and great run. So we want to kind of try to maintain, a good package and a good tour to go out and give fans bang for their buck. Yeah, because times are a little tough right now financially, and we want to make sure people get their money's worth.
Well, I'm thrilled that I'm going to be seeing you live anyway. The fact that you're doing this special show in New York is going to be wild. Now, I also want to know, if you don't mind my asking, if it goes well. If it goes well in the numbers and it also just like in the vibe, do you think it's something that you might reactivate down the line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Cool.
I just don't know what yet, because I just wanted to commit to this and say, let's just do this. And
one thing at a time. Yeah.
And just see how this goes and see how I feel. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew with it, back to that phrase, but I do think that there would be certain places that I would like to go to and do it, outside the U.S.
Yeah.
It would be fun. It just has to strategically kind of line up. I know the Anthrax guys are putting out a record, certainly don't want to do anything with, getting in their way. And
right.
So like, it's just gotta make sense. That's all.
Got it. And so with that, so we got the John Bush shows coming up at the end of the year. In the spring, we got Armored Saint. Then you're going to be hitting the road and kind of touring the world and parts of Europe. It's an exciting time to be John Bush.
Yeah, there's a lot of work.
I bet it is. Yeah, man.
It's cool. I'm excited about everything I'm doing. Musically, it's just been great. I'm really proud of it. The new Saint record's killer. I love the C7 record. Obviously, I love these Anthrax records.
Yeah,
performing all the stuff live is a lot of fun, and it's gratifying for me to see fans excited about it and all of that. So it's a busy time, and it's fun. I'm looking forward to it. I need to stay healthy. I was out running last night, and
you got to
Pilates with my wife, and I'm trying to get strong, not only physically. Well, I'm always working out. I always got to try to work on my little gut. It's battling with my diet. That's always the major battle, because I love to eat. I'm Italian.
Oh yeah, you don't want to
struggle, man. I just love to eat. So, but yeah, all in all, it's going to be. I love playing and performing and working out hard, and that's what I'll do.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to let you go. Just don't go anywhere immediately. But I just wanted to, you know me well enough to know that I mean it wholeheartedly. You're my favorite metal singer. I'm so glad when you do anything.
Brother. Thank you so much.
The fact that you're doing this and I'm getting the best of both worlds here, plus Joey Vera, is like, so I'm thrilled.
You've been always nothing but totally complimentary about everything I've done, and I appreciate that, and I love your support, and you're just a huge fan, and I take that, I really do, and that's great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You can make a polka record. I would listen to it. So
yeah, Polka is weird. It's like Mexican music sounds like polka music. There's a weird
The
parallel.
mariachi thing could
Yeah,
cross over.
it's a trip. It does. I don't know how that happened, but it really did.
I don't know. It's something to think about. Put it
Yeah.
on the to-do list.
Well, you gotta hear Electric Spaghetti. That's my, like, blues country band, and we wrote a bunch of rad tunes, and I actually wanna put that out one day,
Did
and
you really? Did you
no,
really?
I haven't yet, but I want to, and it's
I mean, like, you really have a group called Electric
oh, no,
Spaghetti?
it's yeah, I really do, yeah, it's a
Oh,
blues country kinda rock and roll band. It's great. The guitar player is Tara Novik. He's a good friend of mine, and he's incredibly talented and wrote a lot of rad tunes and sang on it. And so we made some demos, and I want to make a record. It's just a matter of when and fitting it in here. And
yeah.
but that's actually in the works.
Can I keep that in? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Well, on that note, John, don't go anywhere again, but thank you so much. You're my all-time great. You're one of the all-time greats, and just keep doing what you're doing.
See you at the racket.
I will. All right. Special thanks again to my all-time favorite metal singer, John Bush. John will be celebrating the Songs of Anthrax, the John Bush era from 1993 to 2003 with 3 initial dates. December 13th in Los Angeles, California at the Whiskey A Go-Go is sold out. December 18th in St. Charles, Illinois at the Arcada Theater still has tickets, as does December 20th in New York City at the Racket. These shows will feature special performances by Category 7. You cannot go wrong if you're a metalhead. This is where you want to be. Links to the shows are on this interview's show notes, and I played clips of songs from each of the Bush-era Anthrax albums. We played Only, which you're hearing right now, off of Sound of White Noise, Nothing off of Stomp 442, Big Fat off of Volume 8, The Threat Is Real, and Safe Home from We've Come For You All. I've also got the dates to the Armored Saint shows that we mentioned on this episode's notes as well. Always remember to make legitimate purchases of the music, merch, and tickets to support hardworking artists like Category 7 and, of course, Mr. John Bush. It's always a pleasure to speak with him. And head on over to RadioRadioX.com for all things music and entertainment. We've got reviews, interviews, and more coverage. I've got an interview with Jason Bittner, who we mentioned during this interview. He's the drummer of Shadows Fall and Category 7. And another iconic metal drummer, Mark Zonder, formerly of Fate's Warning and now with Warlord and A through Z. And another with powerhouse drummer Sean Duncan of LA Guns. We mentioned him as well. You can also check out the link to my prior interview with John Bush, as well as an interview with Flotsam and Jetsam guitarist Michael Gilbert. My last interview was with Cowpay, that's instrumental metal from Florida. My good friend Robert Meid of Nighthawk, a 2-part interview with Rick Sims of The Digits, a special interview with New York jazz trumpet legend Mac Gallahan and one of his producing partners, Dave Brenner of Grid Failure, and internationally acclaimed rock singer Ronnie Romero, and more. I'd like to thank Art and Rob and everyone over there at the Radio Radio X headquarters. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and all social channels. And be sure to keep coming back to RadioRadioX.com for more updates. I've got more video interviews on the way as well. I am Justin Smulison, new contributor here at Radio Radio X. Thank you so much for tuning in. There's more on the way.